point, the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks, we always want to start fast. That's never going to change. I mean, anytime you come out of the tunnel, get excited for a football game, you put a lot of work in during the week from a preparation standpoint. You feel good about your first set of plays, your group of plays you want to hit early. And then if you don't execute, it's kind of a letdown, and it takes a lot of air out of the energy on the field. So obviously we want to start fast, but we are trying things, try to get the run off the ground and running last week. It didn't work out. Got stuck in some third downs. Obviously we didn't convert on those. So fell down early again. So, we have to do a good job of trying to figure out ways to either push the ball or get some plays that are positive, get our team going, get the juices flowing a little bit. So we have some momentum early. We have not had that in a while. It's going to be critical for a young football team to get out to a good start, so they play faster, have some more fun instead of having to play from behind all the time.
Do you worry, though, when there isn't a fast start, that there's this sense of, especially with the young team, and here we go again, and how you can kind of rip them out of that?
That's one of the biggest challenges you have as a coach, offensive coach, head coach, as a player. You can't let one play or one series dictate how you feel or what you're thinking about going on to the next series. We always try to talk about a one play mentality. It's on to the next one. And that's very important in pro football because they have defenders that get paid. They have coaches that get paid, and they're going to make their stops here and there. It's important for us to stay on track, focus on our job, do our job, and move forward.
Thanks, D-Rock. Let's go Gary, Hayes, and then Jamal.
Yeah, Jay, what's been the difference? The first two games, it looks like you guys kept everybody off balance with your play calling. What has changed since then? I mean, have you changed in any way your pattern of play calling? Has the execution dropped off? Why is it now that you're not able to keep the coordinators guessing like you did against the Colts and the Titans?
Yeah, that's a good question. We've had some opportunities, missed some opportunities. I think the key is against the Titans, we were 10 for 14 on third down. It keeps you in rhythm as a play caller. That's the big thing. And then we've struggled a little bit on third down as of late, even though it looked like we were like 50%, but it wasn't quite as good as that. We got a couple late. I think we were 2 for 10 one week, 3 for 10 the next week. And as a play caller, if you're not in rhythm, if you don't convert those third downs, it's hard to get in rhythm. Mix in play passes, the boots, and all that stuff. Now you're trying to figure out a way to get 10 yards or a chunk play. You get a little bit behind the chains, and it's tough. So I think third down is the key. Tennessee, like I said, we're 10 for 14. We're keeping rhythm, staying on track, staying in third down and medium, first and 10, second and 3. So the whole playbook's open. The playbook closes when you're down 14 late in the third or early in the fourth quarter. You only have a few set of dropbacks that you have to get to, and those make it tough.
Of course, you were down early against the Colts and the Titans, and somehow that didn't matter.
We did come back and make some big plays in there. We were able to still have some running game threat against the Titans. But like I said, when you go 10 for 14 on third down, you're going to get more plays. And I think when you're talking about only having 50 or 60 plays in a game as opposed to 75, probably against the Titans, things change a little bit. So we got to do a better job of just getting some chunk plays here and there and staying on track.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Smitter. Let's go to Hayes and then Jamal.
Hey, Jay, Gardner struggled against the Chargers last year. How useful of a tool is that for you, since it's the same defensive scheme, to kind of look at what they were able to do and sort of work with him to counteract it?
Yeah, again, they got down early and they became one-dimensional, and that's tough. The Chargers do a great job. They don't play a whole lot of different coverages. What they do very well. They can rush a passer with 4 guys. They'll get Ingram back this week. Obviously, they have Bosa. They're very effective with their 4-man rush and the zones that they play, and they sprinkle up different nuances to change it up to confuse you. But at the end of the day, in order to beat some of their zone coverages, you have to have time. You don't have a lot of time, and Gardner was under duress a lot, and Chargers did a great job in that game. So, again, it's going to be critical for us to try to stay ahead of the sticks, stay in the third and mediums, the shorts. Then I think we'll have a great opportunity to have a lot of success. But if you get down a couple touchdowns, you make it a one-dimensional game and let Ingram and Bosa stick their hand in the ground and rush the passer every snap, it's going to be very difficult.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Hayes. Let's go Jamal and then Cassidy.
Hey, Coach, after last game, DJ Chark kind of mentioned that he felt like a lot of the wide receivers were open for some of the plays. Felt like that was a little bit of frustration. How do you make sure that even though the offense has struggled, these guys stay together, because that's the only way you're going to be able to get it turned around, right?
Yeah, for sure. We have quite a few games left, and for us to get out of this rut, we have to stay together, and we have to continue to push ourselves in practice and meetings, and try to get better and be relentless in our preparation and our work ethic. That can never change as a professional football player or a coach. No matter what your record is, you have to go out and prepare, be relentless in it, and that's what we have to do. And we have to stay together. There can't be any finger pointing. Coach Marone does a great job preaching that. And I think the players will rally around each other and figure this thing out. It's a young football team. We get it. But youth is no longer an excuse. Guys have been together for enough time now. We should be executing better, and hopefully we will be moving forward.
Hey, one more quick question about Gardner Minshew. You've been around some quarterbacks that have struggled throughout at times in their career before. Have you given Minshew any tips or anything about how he can kind of get out of this rut he's in a little bit?
Just keep preparing. Every week's its own entity. This team will play an entirely different defensive structure than the teams we played last week against Detroit. And then the next week we have a bye week. Then the next week we play Texans, and they'll be different than the Chargers. So you have to get into your frame of mind. Each week's going to have a different nuance, a different plan. You got to study, you got to prepare, and you got to do the best you can and continue to work on your fundamentals, understanding the concepts, what we're trying to do, where your matchups are, your protection issues, and go forward. There's a lot on a quarterback's plate, and he's a young player, and he's continuing to learn and grasp it. But we don't expect perfection right now. We're going to have some growing pains here and there. It's our job to try to protect them and put them in the best situation as possible.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jamal. Let's do 3 final questions with Coach Gruden. Let's go Cassidy, Gene, and then we'll finish with Shipley.
Hey, Coach. A lot of attention, understandably, goes to DJ Chark, but what can Keelan Cole sort of bring to this offense? And especially over the last couple of weeks, he's really come along. When did you first realize how special he could be?
Well, I had really not a lot of knowledge of him. I know that just watching on film last year, he had some talent, but now we're playing him more inside, and it's a tough position to jump into for the first time. He's done a great job. He's getting better and better as far as running routes from in there. I know he can do stuff outside, but we've asked him to move inside. He's a great target. He's long, got great hands, not afraid. He can block. He's been very impressive so far. I think he's going to get better and better the more he sees in the slot and the more he understands the route detail that takes place in there, the depths, the breaks, the suddenness you have to have in there. I think he'll get better and better. So I've been very impressive with him on and off the field, and he's made some big plays for us.
And his targets have steadily gone up the past couple of weeks. How much of that is him moving into that slot versus just him sort of being a comfort blanket, I guess, for Gardner?
A little bit of both. I think, the slot receiver has an opportunity to make some plays. I actually caught a couple balls outside as well. We tried to
play much this year.
What's that? Oh, your mic was on. Anyway, yeah, I think a little bit of both. I think he can do stuff in the slot and outside, but Gardner is getting more and more comfortable with him as far as the intermediate stuff, and then obviously some of the deeper stuff. He's doing a great job.
Thanks, Coach, and Jamal.
Yes, thank you, Cassidy and Jamal. Let's go over to Gene and then Shipley.
Jay, could you just talk a little bit about the offensive line this past week? They seemed a little bit more, I guess, overwhelmed this past. And granted, losing A.J. Cann early and Ben Bartch looked like he was struggling a bit. Could you just talk a little bit about that, whether this performance was maybe not up to what you had seen in some of the previous weeks?
Yeah, probably some of that's true. Detroit did a nice job. They lined up in a couple fronts that are very difficult to run the ball against. We tried to force the issue early and didn't have much success. They were basically daring us to throw it. Probably should have went to the pass a little bit sooner and then let the pass set up the run as the game went on. But they did a great job. So hats off to Detroit. First of all, losing AJ hurt us. AJ's played extremely well. It was Ben's first experience in the NFL game. So it was fun to see him in there. He'll get better and better, man. He's a tough kid. He's smart. But playing for the first time, you're going to have some struggles against that front. They're very good, very big, very strong. And not to mention, we were very one-dimensional there late in the third, early in the fourth quarter, which made it even more difficult. So hopefully AJ can go, but if not, I think that experience will help Ben moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gene. Let's finish up with John Shipley.
Hey, Coach. It seems, at least, from the outside perspective, that how defenses are kind of playing you guys, they're trying to get a lot of bodies near the line of scrimmage and get guys in Gardner's space. Is that what you're seeing? And if so, what can you guys do to combat that?
Well, definitely against Detroit, that was the case. And I think this week you'll see a lot of loaded boxes as well from the Chargers. They're going to give you 7 in the box in your 11 personnel. They're going to give you 8 in the box in your in your regular and Tiger, the 2 tight end sets or the 3 tight end sets. So we're going to have to get them blocked. Somebody's going to be an unblocked player. We're going to have to run away from them. We're going to have to get a hat on a hat and get some movement. So the way to combat that is obviously we're going to have to hit them with some play actions or some deeper type throws to get them out. But some of these defenses, they're going to play the way they play. They're coached to play this way. They've made their adjustments. We have to make our adjustments and try to hit some big plays based on where they are and how they're playing.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you at 2:45 after practice with Gardner.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.